Take a look at this cool drawing that we're going to draw. Now, this is one of the transparencies I drew at my school assembly. I was drawing the cockatoo for the kids, the cockatiel. And this, look at the feathers and the overlapping. Isn't that neat? Now, this was inspired by one of my trips to Australia several years ago. Let me show you what I did in my Imagination Station book. Here's one of my books that I've written. I've written about 13 books. I can't keep track. But they're wonderful for you to teaching you how to draw. Now take a look at this. See this little cockatoo right there with the tree? Then this is on page 126. So if you have this book, the Imagination Station, turn to page 126, and you kind of follow along what we're going to draw in 7 steps. Okay, we're going to draw some. Look at me. Hey, woohoo! So if you're ready, let's have some fun with this Australian cockatoo. I keep on pronouncing it differently, I know. Take your pencil and let's start very lightly sketch in this bird. We'll draw the cockatoo's face. Then we're going to draw the bird's chest. I'm going to angle it back. I'm going to have this bird in flight. And this was inspired by one time when I was driving from Melbourne to Sydney, and I was driving north. I was going to go all the way up to Darwin in Australia, the far northeastern tip of Australia. I'm going to sketch in where the wings are while I'm talking. Okay, it curves up and it curves way out. I'm going to draw these beautiful wings on this cockatoo. And then I'm going to curve this back to the body right here like this. Go ahead and zoom in just a bit. We'll fill the screen. Keep coming in. There we go. See, we're just blocking it in. This is going to be the face. The hair of the cockatoo has this really cool hairstyle. It comes way up. It's just crazy. The cockatoo's hair, it's like a Seuss drawing. It's like a Dr. Seuss hairstyle. See that right there? And then the beak, the top of the head comes across, and here's the beak. I'll pull it off. Right here, go ahead and zoom in, and we'll work on the face a little bit here. So right there's fine. So what I was doing is I was driving between these two cities, heading north up to Micronesia, to the coast there, and I looked up, and of course we were driving on the wrong side of the road, because in Australia they drive on the left side of the road instead of the right. I'm going to draw the nice S-curve of the bird. So I was driving along, and all these trucks were passing us on the right side, totally freaking me out. But they aren't called trucks in Australia. They're called lorries. It's like us calling our trucks Michelle's. Oh, look there's Michelle's, or there's Henry's coming down. They call them lorries, L-O-R-I, lorries. They're trucks. I don't know where that root comes from. Okay, put the near eye and the far eye. And overhead, this freeway, I was driving on the left side of the road with all these lorries driving down on the right side. I looked up and I saw 10,000, 20,000 of these bright yellow and orange cockatoos flying overhead. And I said, now that is a drawing lesson. I'm going to draw the feathers coming around the top, darken these in here, just a neat feather for the top of the cockatoo's head. And then I'm going to draw the darker chin. Now pull back just a bit so we can see our bird taking shape here. Now that's good. Now right there, look at the bird will be in flight, so I'm going to put a little contour here. I'll put his little feet kind of tucked under his feathers, so he's going to be flying. He's not going to be landing on the tree yet. The near wing is here, and the back wing, you can barely see it. The back wing will be back here. That's called the peekaboo wing, okay? So he's spreading his wings, coming in for a landing. And then what I'll do for the chest is I'll put some feathers, just kind of a bumpy edge to show you that this is a textured surface, some feathers coming across. Now the wings are the beautiful fun focus of this lesson, is the texture. I'm going to draw the first layer. Now what I'll do is I'll use contour lines. I'm going to curve these direction guidelines for our rows of feathers. I'm going to start with a small row of feathers and get bigger and get bigger and get longer. And then down here at the tail feathers are really long. Look at this. As he's flying, the tail feathers fold back into the wind, way back, almost off the paper. Look at this. And then I'll just draw a bunch of feathers coming off here like this at the very end. See, so we got our whole bird shape there. Isn't that cool? That's neat. All right, now I'm going to darken it in. Start from this first row up here, okay? We'll start this row. Take your pencil and just draw some feathers. Now, remember, if I go too fast, all you have to do is push pause on your computer, all right? Just push pause. It's such a neat technology to learn how to draw. It's like it's ready-made technology for learning how to draw, because you can pace it your own self. Pace it as fast or as slow as you want to go. Now right here, let's do another row. It's going to get a little bit larger, so watch this. I'm going to use that same repeated natural design. It's like the wonderful, think of the natural design on a tree trunk, the bark. Think of the natural design of the scales on a fish. That's a wonderful word to learn, natural design. Think of the natural design on the fur of a bunny rabbit or a squirrel if you're drawing that. Okay? Think of the natural design of grass if you're drawing a lawn or drawing a forest of the trees. Look at this. The feathers are getting a little bit bigger, overlapping. I'm doing row after row after row. Now, of course, I'm a cartoonist, so a lot of my drawings will look very cartoony, but these same words that I'm using here, like natural design, like I'm balancing the picture, balancing it for your eye to see. I'm using a nice curved line as a guideline. I'm using contour lines and stripes. These words are transferable to any drawing you're going to draw in the future, all right? Here's repetition. See those wonderful feathers? Some are curved and curved this way and that way. Use a variety. Now, I'm going to take this now and put a shadow underneath each of these feathers. This will take some time, but you just take your pencil. Go and zoom in. I'll show them this is the fun part. Go and zoom in on that wing right there. Right there's good. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw the dark shadow under here like this. Really dark. I'm going to get a sharper pencil because this is fun. This is the fun part. Take your pencil, get it really dark under there. Get it really dark under there. Isn't that cool? And then we'll use our stumpy in just a second. Now right here, do the same thing. I'm going to get all, this is the fun detail. Sometimes a drawing will take you an hour, 2 hours to draw. Sometimes it'll take you 10 hours to draw. If you look at the covers of all my different drawing books, those covers take 20, 30 hours for me to draw. Okay, let's put the shadow under the wings. I'm going to do another one here. Oh, this shadow. Don't skip by this part. This is the fun part. This is the nook and cranny. This is the great fun detail of your drawing. Now you're tempted to push fast forward and jump ahead, but draw this wonderful shadow and detail. This is cool. See this? So I'm driving along down in Australia. I was teaching kids all over Australia. It was a fun tour, teaching down there for several months in Melbourne and Brisbane and Sydney and Darwin and Surfers Paradise, and really cool. Well, I think one of the most exciting memories I have was teaching I think it was 5,000, 6,000 kids at one time at SeaWorld in Sydney, and I was in front of the dolphin jumping arena where the dolphins jump and swim. So I was teaching the kids how to draw dolphins with dolphins jumping in the background behind us. And then I got to get in the water with the dolphins afterwards and swim with the dolphins. That was very, very cool. Okay, go ahead and pull out just a little bit. Let's take a look at this. There you go. That's great. That's perfect right there. That is neat. Now take the side of your pencils, let's darken this in back behind here. And let's put a shadow. Let's put a shadow here. Let's put the shadow. Nice and dark down inside there. Nice and dark. Cool. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the edge of my pencil here and shade underneath his beak. Maybe bottom of his face a little bit. And then of course a little bit on the crayon, the feathers there. I'll darken these feathers down below here. It just swoops back here. This is the fun detail part right here, okay? Darken in these little bit back behind here. And then I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm going to use my pencil. I'll use the bottom edge and put a little bit of tone. Then I'll use my paper stump and I'll really blend that a lot, okay? Doesn't that look nice? Now watch, I'm going to show you something about action lines. Take your pencil, and as the bird is flying, right off the top edge right here, in what direction you want the bird to be flying, swoop some ghost action from the very top edge. Swoop some action lines. Look at this, from the bottom edge of the wing, swoop some action lines, and then put some action like that. See, isn't that neat? Go like this, put some action like that. Isn't that cool? Put some action lines like that. And then the all-important paper stump blending. Take a look at this. Okay, here's the paper stump. Let's blend it. Take your stump. Go ahead and zoom in as I move this around. They can see what the effect of the blending right here. Keep zooming in. Right there's good. See what this does? It looks like a Seuss drawing, doesn't it? Dr. Seuss had a tremendous influence on my style. I always tell you, open up those books, those illustrated children's books you have on your shelves, and and copy them and trace them and study them. You can't go wrong learning from the master illustrators like those artists were. Look, I'm going to blend it from a little, smooth it out here. Blend down here. Now let's take a look at the back wing. And then now down here, watch this. I'll use little circular motions. I'm going to blend it out just a bit. Little circular motions. And blend it out. And look, that's just wonderful. Way to go. Do one more. Go ahead and pull out. Let's get a view here. Hey, look at this. We did a beautiful drawing in 10 minutes. Way to go. Look at that. Way to go. Excellent job. A few more action lines off the bottom tail right here. See that? Put some action lines. And now it's ready for your autograph and for you to post that into a beautiful art gallery. That's really neat. Way to go. I'll see you on the next lesson. Yeah.